do this play, but if the bike is facing downhill, they will be necessary. If the bike is facing uphill, position of the bike is held with the clutch and not the rear brake while you do the hops.
Right now, we must look at the 3/4 part of the step, is maybe like here, and pick up the front wheel the late as we can. So when more late, it's more easy, okay? And put the front wheel at the 3/4 of the step. So just like this, okay? It's not go leave and go like this. It's lift the late as we can, okay? And then put at the 3/4 and with the throttle open, okay? We open the throttle and goes up. Then in this technique, what I explained right now, is better for the big steps. But the only thing is, when later you pick up the wheel, more smooth will be the touch with the rear wheel. So I will do with the bike, and I can explain again then. There is no second throttle, it's just one at the same time. But on the last moment, very late, and touch on the 3/4 part of the step. Okay? Now, just come from here, and the late we can leave the bike and put the front wheel here. Okay? Same as we do that before.
Usually, the taller the rock you go up, the sooner you will have to start lifting the front wheel to set it at the 3/4 point on the rock. In this case, Andreu is starting about 1 bike length from the rock, and you will be able to determine the distance you need by experimenting and practicing. Using the roll-up technique, he lifts the front wheel to the 3/4 point and adds throttle to accelerate the bike to the rock. As he feels the rear suspension hit the rock, he closes the throttle and lets momentum and flywheel action bring the bike and rear wheel up the rock. He has to let his legs bend here to let the bike come up under him on the rock. It also helps the bike to push ahead on the bars when the rear wheel is just about to come to the top of the rock. When the rear wheel has arrived on top, the clutch can be pulled, stopping the bike. At this time, your arms should be completely stretched out in front of you, and your bottom should be right over and almost touching the rear fender.
So you see the 2 different techniques? Yeah. If the step is much more bigger, cannot do this technique. We must do the first one.
With the zap technique, notice how Andreu starts the front wheel up like if he was going to start a wheelie, but then brings it into the 3/4 point again on the rock. He has his knees already bent, and as the front wheel hits the rock and the suspension compresses on the front and back, he blips open the throttle and unloads his body forward like he was going to jump over the bars. This action causes a rebound of the rear suspension, and along with the sudden blip of power, the bike will just leap forward and upward onto the rock. When the rear wheel is almost to the top of the rock, he pushes forward on the bars, then pulls the clutch in order to let his body catch up to the bike.
You will see that on the rocks, the small steps and the turns all mixing. The most important thing is that you have to float over the rocks. So, and your throttle control sometimes and the clutch has to be very coordinated to pass well. Many people, yesterday for example, they'll say, hey, your bike is slow and you never touch to the rocks with the engine. And this is because the technique, what we do with the front wheel and with the suspensions to nearly float over the rocks. So I will show you later with the bike. We do my way because on the steps we cannot do my way in the bigger steps like this. But my way is good when, for example, it's a step that is a hole inside. So where you have to put the rear wheel from here to the top. If not, it touches the yeah. You understand?
Undercut.
So when the step is square, so it's flat, it's no problem to do your way. But my way, it keeps the bike more smooth to do everything. So and then if you have another obstacle very near to the step, it's better to do my way.
Keep your speed.
This is quite new. Everybody is doing for maybe 1 year or no more. So it's important that everybody can try to do like this. But in my way, it's more coordination and more movements at the same time. So it's a little bit more difficult. Yeah, it helps to wake up the rear wheel.
In other words, the lower the front end hits, the higher the back end will go up.
Yeah. The problem is you cannot make very low, eh? Yeah, it is one point there. Normally it's in the 3/4. It's about here.
What's the technique on the big ones that like chest high?
Yeah. I want to try this one because, for example, it is the step that I goes before and this step. When it is a step for bigger than it is, it's and flat, okay? It's straight on and flat. You must touch when you wake up the wheel the nearest you can to put it at the 3/4, okay? And then you need normally second or third gear for the big steps. So it's important that you arrive, and it's like if you go very fast, you cannot go because you rebound, you know. It's important that if it's flat and this is a square, you go like this and whop, and it's like if it is flat again. You understand?
You want to have your bike and the motor and everything compressed
So
when you hit that.
the bike goes like this, flat and easy, and you go swap and put the bike like this, and with gas, like it is flat. You understand?
You accelerate up the thing.
Yeah, just before the step, and you have to put the bike maybe in a 3/4 because if not the plate touching on the rock. Then when the steps are much more bigger, and normally when the steps are much more bigger, the ground is not flat, it's a little bit like this. Then what you have to do is in third gear, wake up the wheel as the maximum as you can. So you touch, then it rebounds to the top.
You actually want to hit with your back.
Yeah.
Because I see you guys do that.
Because if you do like this on a bigger step, there is a hill and the step, no? If you do the front wheel, you goes plumb and you goes back. You understand? You have to wake up the front the maximum as you can and touch with the rear wheel, then it rebounds to the top. You understand? So we make three techniques for one for the higher.
Yeah, it's like splattering that, but instead of doing that, you're kind of going up on flat ground, and then they're just loading up and just shooting the back tire right onto it. How do you?
With no ramp.
With no ramp or nothing.
This is normally what we do normally when, for example, it is a step that he has a hole inside, or he has maybe it's a small step like this, and we have to go up and then go up again, take the speed. So we need to do like this. So we arrive in third gear normally, so and we push the suspension back, and we make all the full gas and leave the clutch at the moment. So
Let it go away from you?
yeah, it goes, but this is we do that very few times.
And
But
they're doing it last year.
yeah,
Some
yeah,
used a lot.
yeah. But this you can do when it's very dry and
Right.
you understand.
Right.
You cannot do when it's very
No, when it's wet,
slippery.
it's good.
So, but I understand what you mean. I will try to do this one here, so you will see. You have to fix. You're looking on the step. Sometimes, if I am not concentrate, I make big mistake here. Eh? So you have to be very concentrated.
How far back do you start, Andrew? How far back from the rock? Do you have a
About 2 meters. But the most important thing is you have a very fast clutch, and you have to use third gear, because in second gear you cannot get the speed in the short time you need. So in third gear is the most important. So with the power you have with third gear and the jump what you make with the suspension, it makes you maybe like this the background.
The splatter technique is probably the hardest to learn because if it isn't done correctly, the results could be expensive. It's best to learn this one by starting on a small dirt bank and then working up to larger obstacles. This one is almost always ridden in third gear compared to second or first for the other two techniques. Here, Andrew bends his knees to load the rear suspension, then about a bike length away from the rock, pulls the clutch, opens the throttle, then releases the clutch as he unloads the suspension forward. Also, he has to pull back on the bars to get the bike in an almost vertical attitude so that the rear wheel will contact the obstacle first. When the wheel hits, he pulls the clutch, closes the throttle, and lets the front wheel come down as he applies the rear brake to hold his position while he rebalances.
Stop. We're going to explain again to everybody.
You gotta hop. You gotta come off of it.
Yeah, but he's hopping very little.
Andrew, when you come in with the clutch, when you nail the clutch and the throttle, aren't you also
Yeah,
unloading?
yeah, for sure.
He's coming back and
Yes,
loading up his
I'm
rear
coming back.
suspension, so
It's-
You're loading.
Yes, it's like I push the rear shock
Yeah,
before to come to the rock, and then when it comes to the rock, it touched to the rubber,
Yeah.
and then it helped me to the rebound.
See,
You understand?
part of it.
But the more important thing is the clutch, because I think anybody understand the clutch because nobody do it. So just some of you. So I have seen many riders that they do what they have to do, but they don't do it on the right way. You must pull in the clutch very hard before you go to go over the rock. Many people is doing only open the gas, and this is not the right way. So because here you can do, but not on the difficult sections. So you must come here, take a little speed, and when your front wheel touch into the small rock, you must pull in the clutch, and then open the throttle, revs, you have more revs, more RPM, and then lose the clutch the fast you can, then it jumps back. So many people can do that. You don't do, many people can do. So you must try to open the gas, make RPM, and pull in the clutch. So if you want to make 2 meters, 10 times faster than the normal speed, you know. So for example, I am here in one speed, no. I want to do this piece in 10 times more speed than the other. The way to do is with the clutch, and open the throttle, goes to maybe 4,000 RPM, and then pull in the clutch. You normally should ride at 2,000, 250, 500 RPM. You must up it up for 4,000, 4,500 RPM.
Here, Andrew is demonstrating an easy way to learn the splatter technique. The small rock is acting as a launch rock for the rear wheel. When the front wheel goes over this rock, the clutch is pulled just for an instant while the throttle is opened. Then, the clutch is released again and the rear suspension unloaded just as the rear wheel goes over this rock. Just hanging onto the bars then will put the bike into an almost vertical attitude and the rear wheel will contact the obstacle first. When it hits, be sure to pull in the clutch and close the throttle. Be very cautious when you practice this maneuver, and be sure you have your helmet and other protective gear on.
One more thing, stop. I want to show you them on a big step.
Okay.
To see, here.
Okay.
Okay? You can see what I do on the big step. It's the same. So, you look for my left finger, eh? You see that I take a little speed, and then when the front wheel starts to go to the rock, I put a clutch, and I press my clutch and also my legs, and I try to get a rebound from the bike. So it helps me very much to go to the other rock very easy. So explain.
Here's an example of where the splatter technique could be used while riding, and this could be in a trials or even out trail riding. When doing this maneuver though, you have to be confident of your ability and the bike's capability to do what you want. This is where practice and experience will serve to let you know what you can or can't do. Here, but it
Spread out.
spread out, you know. And here and mix also.
So when you land on that, do you need to land with throttle on so it brings you?
throttle on, yeah. And then when it touch,
Then
I
autumn
clutch and
and brake.
no,
or
not
just
brake.
clutch?
No, just clutch. Yeah, because the brake is the wall.
Oh.
You brake your speed.
Yeah.
Going up a wall is also usually done in third gear. Speed is very important here to make sure you get to the top and not almost to the top of the wall. Here, Andrew just barely touches the very top of the wall with the front wheel, and as it passes the top, he starts to close the throttle. Also, notice his body position is almost vertical along with the bike. As the front wheel passes the top and the throttle is closed, he pushes forward on the bars, forcing the front of the bike down. This also causes the bike to move forward a bit, and the rear wheel will just barely land on the top edge of the wall. Here's a student practicing the wall, and he should definitely have a helmet on. Notice he won't quite have enough speed to get the rear wheel up to the level of the top of the wall, and also he won't have the front of the bike vertical enough so that the front wheel barely touches the top of the wall. The front wheel hits the top part of the wall rather hard, and the front of the bike is pushed back into the rider, forcing him back away from the bike. Now he is too far back to push the bars enough when the front wheel passes the top of the wall, and the rear wheel does not have a chance to land on top of the wall. If the bike catchers would not have been there, the bike and him would have come back down the wall.
Now I am in second gear. I will do very slow.
So you want to hit the log with the front wheel?
Yeah, you have to take the front wheel here and then drive the back. And I try to do that when the rear wheel touches the lock, I start to close the throttle, and then when the rear wheel is already past the lock, then I press the clutch. So, and then I keep my balance and I start again. So it's simple, but the problem is it's simple, but the problem is you must do everything in a short time. So it's kind of coordination that it takes time to get.
One of the big differences I saw is that when you came up there, your rear wheel was barely spinning when you landed, and everybody else was spinning real fast.
Yeah, this is because I close. You understand? Everybody when he touched the rear wheel still with the gas, so I close.
In other words, you ride it just like the wheel just turned one time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you want to do.
Yes, this is what I want to do. What I have to do.
Yeah, right.
One with the machine.
In third gear, I do. So you see, when the rear wheel is into the tree, I close my gas. I close and then I open it again. Another way is this. This was third gear. So you need, when you are like this, you need speed very quick. So you see that it's very important, you have to touch with the front wheel in the right place. It's very important.
Here's some good form from an older rider demonstrating the zap technique for getting over an obstacle. He starts a wheelie and drives the front wheel into the obstacle at the 3/4 point, then simultaneously flips the throttle and unloads the rear suspension. Once on the obstacle, the clutch is pulled and the bike slowly and easily slides down the back side while the body weight is transferred as far back on the bike as possible. And here's some good form from a younger rider demonstrating the splatter technique. Notice the small launch rock about a bike's length from the obstacle. He is in 3rd gear, and just before the front wheel passes over the rock, he starts to pull in the clutch just a bit to where it is just barely slipping. Then, as the front wheel passes over the rock, he simultaneously opens the throttle, releases the clutch, and unloads the suspension just as the rear wheel passes over the rock. As before, just holding onto the bars will put the bike into an almost vertical attitude, causing the rear wheel to hit the obstacle first. As it hits, the clutch is pulled and the throttle closed. The body then catches up with the bike and the weight is kept back as the bike goes down the backside of the obstacle. The techniques you choose to get over an obstacle will depend upon your skill level, the capability of the bike you are riding, and the condition of the surface upon which you are riding.
Okay. We must learn, before we do nothing, we must learn that to jump this little step, it's one technique that makes your downhill much more easy. So if you just go down, for sure you will touch with the engine, and maybe you have the possibility to fall, crash and burn, okay? Then the best technique to make these things is when the front wheel is here, it's just open, push a little bit the clutch, lift the clutch, okay? Then the front wheel has to go about ½ meter after the step, and put your back, your body back. What happens with this? First of all is that when the suspension will touch on the ground, the suspension, it will be with all the trouble extend. So he has all the trouble to work. And then your body is more on the back, so you don't have the possibility to fall down, okay? So we will do that like this, then we brake, open the knees, body to the outside, okay? When we drop off a rock, the first thing we think is don't damage anything to the bike. So when we drop off one rock, is normally the most dangerous place to crash the bike. So we have developed some techniques to don't damage the bike. So when we go down, we try that the bike have the better landing as possible. So the smoother landing. What we normally should do is, one of the best landings is, like motocross, is going with the back wheel and then with the front wheel. But the problem is you need long space to do like this. So what we do, it's normally is we landing with the front wheel and then with the back wheel, but we landing that the brake on when it's land we brake. So the back it stops a little bit on this way and then it goes smooth on the back. This is very important. Then, well, landing it's real difficult. Other things that people do right now is, for example, we have to go down here. Maybe Jordi is coming and goes this way. He puts his bike like this and goes like this. But this is a kind of a show. So he do many times on the in the trials, and maybe sometimes it helps. But when it's a short space, because it's another step there, it helps a little bit. But it's maybe not the best way to go. I think you can do with other techniques. But the important thing is that you're landing with the front wheel and try to landing as smooth as you can. So like I will try to do right now. Yeah. So it's very important that you take care of your bike. Okay, first of all, when you are like this, you have to see where the rocks that you have on the bash plate. So you cannot have a problem of balancing then. If everything is flat, then you move the bike and you put a square as the. So if the step is like this, you have to put the bike like this, not like this. Understand? So you put the bike flat on, okay? Put the second gear, and put the back wheel, push on the back wheel, see? Then, it's not finished already, a little bit more on the front. Okay? See? And now it goes down. Oh. You mean now you have to, this is very quick, eh? See, eh? Okay? But not all to the back. You have to start here and go back. Understand? If you start here, we'll slip. It's. Understand? The slingshot technique. You mean you call the slingshot technique? Not only means that go in third gear, open the throttle and go ahead. It means that you must think about how the tire is clean. You must think about how speed you need in a short time, okay, in a short space, and it means how many inertia you need on the top, you know. So for that, I will make a section that the novice will only go straight on, and that's all. But for the rest, we will go down, okay? We will turn over here. Here is very slippery, and then we will go this way, okay? Then, it's too 3 or maybe I'm gonna explain right for this section. From here, the best you can do, the most easy is just go on 3rd gear and straight ahead. If you have not much space to take speed, the best thing is open the throttle, okay, 3rd gear, clean the tire, close a little bit, open again, and gas. You understand what I mean? So the most important thing is sometimes we do open the throttle very much. We pull the clutch, okay? Then the tire is cleaning, okay? Then we pull the clutch again. We close and then we open just a little bit. Whoa, and then the bike takes the speed because it has much more grip because the tire is clean. Understand? So other thing you can do is just put, because this is easy, is just open the throttle, pull the clutch and go ahead, okay? But the best one, the one that I think you must learn is open the throttle, clean the tire, close again, and not close completely, I mean just close a little bit and try to get the traction. For example, when we go down here, okay, many people in the World Championship, most of the bad riders go and open and the rear wheel has too much power and they don't get speed. So the main thing is if your tire is clean, because normally when we go into the sections we try that when we arrive on the difficult part the tire is already clean. So we start a little bit, okay, start, and when the bike have a little bit speed, just a little bit, we open the throttle, ribs, pull the clutch and go ahead. Understand? But if you have a little speed, it's already much more easy than if you are stopped.
So you get going a little bit and then you give it the
yes,
throttle and the clutch.
Yes, you understand? Just a little bit speed.
Slipping the clutch basically to get rolling in a higher gear.
Yeah, in 3rd gear. I mean, this is 3rd gear for sure. Also, you can try 4th gear if you want. But no, this section is 3rd gear.
Well, when he says cleaning the rear wheel, you mean hold the front brake? And
No.
By
No.
sitting the bike?
No.
Well, yeah. Could you explain how you?
Clean the front, clean the rear wheel. It means that when you open the bike has nearly no traction. You go slow, you know, but you clean the tire and then.
Does it spin?
Spin it and you know, and then cleans the tire. Then when you have, this is just a little moment. Then when you close a little bit and you open again, and you get the traction because the tire is clean.
Okay, but you don't use the clutch. I mean,
yeah, I use the clutch too.
Just a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit.
How about front brake to keep you from going forward?
No.
He's spinning the tire going forward.
Yes.
Pulling the clutch in to slow the spin down, then he's slipping it out. To
Right. I
accelerate.
just wanted to.
No, not front brake.
No front brake.
No.
Good. Okay.
So. Okay, this is 4th gear now. Then when I open again, I do a little bit of clutch. So I close and then I open again. And then you get much more traction. Okay? Everybody can do this one. Very easy. 3rd gear. Be careful because your body has to be on your weight has to be in the back wheel when we start to get traction. So, like this, move the bike. So then you put your body a little bit on the back, okay? You see? Look at the front, spin a little bit. You see? Okay, this section, in this section we have basically the same thing as what we are explained before, but the only thing is in another kind of terrain. For example, the log, it's always very slippery, so we must take care about the inertia and the speed what we get before to get on the log. So I will explain all the section what to do, okay, and then if anybody have any question, just ask, okay. Do you remember the first, what you did yesterday is put the front wheel, then, okay, then it will be the same, put the front wheel and stand with the engine here, okay, the engine stand here, okay. That's better because we have more possibilities to brake with the mud. So when it's dry, we can jump a little bit, but when it's mud, the less speed we have is always better. So we put the bash plate here, okay, then we turn over the turn, okay, and then we must remember what about you explain about the foot and your body, okay. Then when we are here, I think the best is to don't make any tricky riding. Maybe if you move a little bit the front wheel, but when you are here, you already have to see on the lock. Then you come here. This is an easy one, but if in your mind it's like a big one, you must open, leave the front wheel, sit down the front wheel, then clutch. You can do that in third or second gear. Normally second is the best, okay? So you go up to the lock, then the best thing is you cut the section. So this is one part of the section, and then you take a little breath, put the third gear, and come, take a little speed. And here is I have seen that many people when it's a double obstacle together, when it's a twin obstacle together, the main problem is that many people do so well the first, but they don't think about the second. So then they fall down on the second one. So in this section, what we must think is to do the first step and thinking about the second, and do the first to finish the first in the right position, to attack the second in the best conditions. So what I will do here is leave the front wheel on here, and try that my bike goes, if you leave the front wheel here, the bike stand on the ground. So you have more possibilities then to make the second. If you don't leave the front wheel, this is an easy one, but normally what it happens is that you go up, the front wheel is stand up, then when it goes down you are too near to the second, and you cannot do the second. So the best thing here is leave the front wheel and stay on the ground, and then when the rear wheel is in the top, do it again the second with just a little gas. It's important that you think on the second one. When you do the first, you must think on the second one. So for that, it's important that the technique we do maybe is not the best to do the first step, but is the best for the second. And start in second gear. Okay. Stop, take some breath, put the third gear, you're looking for the second, then here we go, start slowly. What we normally do is we cut the section in three or four parts. So normally what we can do, it's the respiratory, I don't know what to say. You catch your breath. It's very important. So before to start the section, you catch your breath very well. So you start very confident. Then you make the first part. Then when you make the first part, you make another catch of breath, okay? Then thinking for the next part. So if you, this is good because some riders, if they make a mistake on the first part, they make mistakes in all the section. So it's good because you stop, you catch your breath, then you forget everything as before. So it's like you make a new section. So it's important that you cut the section in 3 or 4 parts. The main problem is you have to discover when you go practice with another top riders to when they make clean and you don't make the way that what he do to make it clean. In the top riders, nobody say to the other the way who he's doing, and normally, well, when we talk about the gear, we say, but we never say about the pressure tire or what many things we have. So also when we are on the trials, nearly nobody can say how many points he has. Very few of those say. So to learn these techniques, for me, it was more difficult because I have nobody who teach me. I just have to watch and try to see what happens with this technique. You can see that trials, the bike is important, but it's not the main thing. So technique is the main thing.
How about gear selection when you're riding? Do you ever use low gear,
Well,
second gear, or third gear? Could you talk about the advantages of each gear?
Well, I have a little lucky that this bike, the 327, has a much torque, so I can use second, third, and fourth gear very quickly. First, I can use never.
Fourth?
No, first I can use. But third, fourth, second is the main. Third, when I need much more speed, and when it's high climbing, and fourth when it's big mud, and I need to make a high speed, and when I have to clean the wheel, because sometimes in the mud, the main important thing is that the wheel is clean. Then you go on fourth gear and it's much speed, then the wheel is always clean. But normally here in this terrain, second gear I do nearly everything. The only problem is, for example, Fantic have a light second gear. So it's long second gear, and Beta has nearly the same as this one, and you cannot see the other bikes, what the other bikes do. So you have to know exactly what you think. Many times I make mistakes in the World Championship because I ask for the gear and I see the way that people goes, and I see the section in another way, and I say, okay, I think it's better to take the same line as everybody, but I make many mistakes for that, because if you are sure that your line is the best, you have to do your line. So that makes the difference between a good rider to a normal rider. You must be himself consultant, you know. You must see the lines. If the normal line that everybody takes is your best, you can do this one. But if you see another line, you must take the other line.
You
So
have to have confidence in your ability to find a line and know you can ride it.
Yeah, because today's riding, it's many young riders make many tricks, you know, many movements and many tricks. And for me, I try to always look the more straight line. So when right now, when I go to the Spanish Championship, where many young riders come, I see many lines, a straight line for me, and I never take this line. It's much more easy for me to do my line and my own riding. So it's necessary that everybody has to be his own friend, and he has to know his qualities and his possibilities. think the only people who make a good training, condition training, are the Spanish at the moment. Avala make physical training, and Biosis make physical training. Maybe Biosis is one of the most, but Emilio make physical training, but they don't have anybody who show the people and who teach the people what they have to do and what they need to do, you know. And in Spain we have the National Physical Education University, and we have a teacher that about 5 years ago, me and Jordi Gabino, then a one enduro rider, and no more. For our not P also, our 5, we take one teacher for us, and we pay for our own self. And this teacher, we go every day to Barcelona, and we start to know what your body needs to practice trials. So, and then we teach for over 1 year to this teacher to know what is trials. He's coming nearly every Sunday to see the trials, and he keeps our condition for till last year I was with him, and Jordi also. And now Amos and Marco Ome goes with this man. And I think it's the way you learn with these people, because these people are elite educators, so the way you learn is you keep your body, and you take care of your body. You know what is wrong in your body and what you have to try to get better. Keeps your mind very sportive mind, you know, because sport people sometimes you do sport but you don't know what to do. So sport mentality is very important, like concentration and many things. And then they take care of our alimentation. I don't know what to say. Our food, our diet. So the most important thing that we have developed is that we have seen that trials has to be like a cat. So before, everybody was thinking that trial rider has to be very strong, has to be very big muscles, very physical. But we have seen that is not right. The trial rider has to be like a cat, and the most power he has to have is the explosive power. Explosive power, I mean in a short time, make the more powers you can. Like this. So not, for example, you can open, you can push a rock and you are very strong. But the most important thing is go fast. Right. So for example, when I touch with the front wheel and open the clutch, it's everything fast. So everything it helps to get better. Right. So this is the most important thing what we have developed, and we have to keep our body with much explosive power, and to get good resistance, good resistance without take away the agility. So this is the most improvement that we have working during the last 4 years.
Okay, you take Jordi and
Gavino, me.
All of them. How much do you practice? In a
Physical.
week? No, riding.
Riding. Okay. Physical. Okay. This is a thing that I want to explain. So September, finish the World Championship. Then you have Spanish Championship in the middle of October. We have Spanish Championship in the middle of October. Then we have 2 weeks holiday. Then November we start training. December, January. Okay, every day, 3 hours. Okay. Then February we push much more in January and February we push much more the bike training, okay, and then March start the World Championship, okay. Then March, April, May, June, July, August, and September, we just go 1 or 2 days to the physical training, but we make bicycle training or jogging or something like this, but not like October, like November, December, and January. So this is the main time for practicing, and this is because we have 2 lines, eh? So this is too much training and this is too much training. So in January you really are you really are here, too much training, but and then when you are in March, when they start the World Championship, you are here. You have to keep your body till August or September in this way, then in October is here. Then you have to start again. So, but you have to see when your best competition, the most important competitions are to be in this line, right, in the best condition. Riding is more important, but you don't have to pass this line of right, training, you understand? Right. And many people, when they training, so the technical practice is, many people practice for hours and hours, but just go with the bike. For example, sometimes it's better to practice 1 hour or 2 hours per day, and for example, today I want to make steps like this, and go and make steps, make technique, and make specialized kind of training, you know? Right. Not just ride with the bike, right, and try to make cleans in the section. So this is not the important thing. Okay, thanks for watching the video. I hope you learned something, and remember, be patient and be constant in your practicing. At the end of this, for sure, you will be a good rider.